Well, hey everybody, it's me, Mitch, and today I'm going to do, this is my first one of these, I'm going to do my top 10 YouTube channels for the carnivore diet. Now, this is a hard thing to do. It's hard because there are so many great people out there working hard, putting out YouTube videos, doing carnivore things, and you can't list them all. Included in my list are those that I felt influenced me the most. And we're all different. We're all looking for different things. Some of us are looking for scientific information. Some of us are looking for how-to things like recipes, exercise. Some of us are looking for historical information. And each of us needs different stuff to help make us understand what it is about this that's going to work for us. To compile this list, I divided it into categories. Carnivore purists, carnivore keto crossovers, keto channels, doctors, researchers, and journalists. And tried to spread these recommendations out over these different categories. I also had some criteria that the video should be well produced, good audio and video quality, new and fresh content or different views on it, and there shouldn't be a constant stream of these I failed and I'm off the wagon, poor me, but I'm back now and root for me videos, because we have tons of those. Some of these choices that I made are going to be really obvious, and I'm sure they're your choices too, and I'm sure you're very familiar with them. Again, for the record, these are my top 10 YouTube video channels. And some of these I've actually named more than one channel because they're very similar, but I had a hard time choosing between them. And of course, at the top of the list, number one are the big guys. The big guys in carnivore, not necessarily the big guys in keto, because when it comes to dietary advice influencers on YouTube, the keto guys way outnumber the carnivore guys, but we're kind of growing on them. Also, it goes without saying that my channel, if I was a non-partial bystander, would be a number one, top of the list. And I'll let you decide for yourself how I compare against these other people, but obviously I'm not putting myself on my own list. At the top, there are three guys. And I say guys, I don't want this to become a girl channel versus guy channel. You know, it's true on YouTube. Men and women look for different things. My viewers are 65%, 70% men, and 30-35% women. I'm sure the steak and butter gal has those ratios flipped. We'll leave all that out of it for this. At the top of the list, there are three guys. And you all know them: Ken Berry, Sean Baker, and Anthony Chaffy. These are the three big prolific producers of content in our space. Dr. Baker, Dr. Chaffy are purist carnivores. Anthony Chaffy is known for his plants are trying to kill you stance. Dr. Baker, he's kind of known as let's call him the father of the modern carnivore movement, writing the book, The Carnivore Diet, 6 or 7 years ago. All three of these guys have been practicing carnivore, or in Ken Berry's case, a very low carb ketovore diet for many, many years, and their content is everywhere. They are the big players, and of course should be at the top of my list. Number 2 on my list may surprise you. Been watching this channel for many years and have gotten great education from it. In fact, some of the other influencers that I follow, I was introduced to on low carb down under. If you're looking for a channel that's from Australia that's just full of lectures from conferences from all over the world by the top people, you'll find it on low carb down under. And in that respect, that's my number 2 spot. My number 3 spot is shared between 2 guys, Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz. Again, I tend to lean towards the more informational type channels as opposed to the how-to type channels. And I think as far as breaking medical news that relates to our diet, these 2 guys, Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz of Oreo cookie versus statin fame, are shaking things up right now and should be at the top of anybody's list. Now, down to number 4. When it comes to pure science and biology, there are 2 guys that I put in 4th place, Dr. Paul Mason and Dr. Ben Bickman. These people have done lectures everywhere, are interviewed everywhere. I can't remember one time that my research and what I've learned has disagreed with a single point that they've made about why we should all be on a carnivore diet. So Ben Bickman, Paul Mason. Paul Mason's from Australia. Ben Bickman is from the Midwest. So we got both sides of the world covered. These guys are great. And my number 5 pick right up with them is kind of like my go-to for the final word on anything that has to do with physiology, paleophysiology, biochemistry, and that's Bart K. I love the guy, very misunderstood, but right 99.9% of the time, as far as I'm concerned. And somebody that you all should be watching. I know I do. I watch Bart K's stuff. If you want real facts, now, sometimes they get a little technical, a little medical, but nonetheless, Bart K is the go-to guy by all the other influencers on YouTube if they want to know really how it's actually working inside the body. My number 6 spot goes to the journalists who've done so much investigative research into the BS behind where the current dietary guidelines came and how the world got into this incredible mess that it's in. And there's three of them that I think equally share this. Nina Teicholtz, Gary Taubes, and although I don't think officially a journalist, I put Zoe Harcum in this group too. That's Nina Teicholtz, Gary Taubes, and Zoe Harcum. Anything by these three is valid information. It'll open your eyes. It'll probably make you mad, but it's the truth about how this cartel of government, big medicine, big pharma, and big food took control of what you put in your mouth to eat and what is currently making the world getting sicker every year. These guys are worth watching. Number 7 on my list is a young man from Kent in the United Kingdom. His channel name is Kent Carnivore. His name is Lee. Lee has incredible insight into how human digestion works because I believe he had ulcerative colitis and had his colon removed. So he has a bag now. And he's become carnivore, and he can give us some real world experience to counteract all the propaganda coming from the vegetarians and vegans saying things like, you have 20 pounds of undigested red meat in your colon. He's a great editor, tells a great story, has had some incredibly successful videos. And for that, he has taken the 7th spot on my list as a channel worth watching. The 8th spot, Curry Man from Homestead How. Curry's just a force in the carnivore community. He's making a movie right now, and somebody that we should watch. Big channel. I watch Curry's stuff. Interesting guy, excited about carnivore, and a good source of information. So he's number 8 on my list. And just so you ladies don't feel left out, number 9, Bella, the steak and butter gal. She's got a great channel. She's been doing it for a long time. I enjoy her videos, especially when she plays the piano. And number 9 on my list, check her out, Steak and Butter Gal. And number 10 is Amanda from Carnivorous Me. And those of you who know Amanda will know why I'm recommending her. And I'll just sum it up briefly by saying, if you're one of these people that's on the verge of death, hugely overweight, too young to give up on life, but too sick to really do anything about it, if you need inspiration, there's nothing like Carnivorous Me, nothing like Amanda, to see her journey from bedridden to where she is today and continuing on that journey over the probably next year or two until she reaches her goals. Truly an inspiring young woman, and for that reason, number 10 on my list. I could have made this my top 200 carnivore channels and probably filled up all 200 slots. There are so many channels that I watch. But these channels are the ones that have inspired me, have educated me, have sent me off in directions of study and research that have really helped me. So that's it. All this information is down in the show notes, all the links to all these channels. Just leave some room to watch me in the future. Don't get too busy with all these other guys. And there you have it. And with that, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.